Welcome everybody to Forza Motorsport, and today we're taking a look at the 2020 BMW M2 Competition Coupé. Now this is part of the first generation that lasted between 2016 and 2021, and this uses a detuned version of the engine that was used in the F80 M3 and the F82 M4. So that means that it's now got a 3 litre twin turbocharged inline 6 engine, which is now producing 405 horsepower and 405 pounds-feet of torque. So that's 40 horsepower more than the previous engine used in the M2, and 63 pounds-feet of torque extra as well. And that's purely because it's got, extra improvements internally on the engine, but it's also got one extra turbocharger as well, which is always going to, improve your torque and your horsepower. It's also got a carbon fibre reinforced plastic strut bar and larger disc brakes at the front and the rear. And all in told, it weighs 3,655 pounds, which is a fairly decent low amount of weight for a coupe, a modern coupe. But yeah, I am surprised that this has been added to the game, especially since that we do not have the, I believe we don't have the newer M2 that we've had in Forza Horizon 5. Now granted, we didn't have this in a previous Forza Motorsport, and we also didn't have it in Forza Horizon 5, so yeah, I am surprised though that we have had it into this game when we quite clearly had a newer BMW added in another Forza game. So yeah, but still, it is a good looking car. I like the fact that it's not got those gopping grills that we've seen on other BMWs. It's practical, it's got a decent interior. One thing I don't like about the looks are these wheels, which are way too shiny. They look really rather quite like a chrome wheel, and yeah, far too bling for a car that is supposed to be more discreet in terms of its performance. But still, it's a good looking car overall, and yeah, like I said, it doesn't have those awful grills that we've seen on so many BMWs as of late. But yeah, nonetheless, let's get out onto a track and see what this car can do. Right, so we're here at the Nürburgring GP circuit, where we're going to go around for a little bit first and listen to the engine, and then we'll talk about the car some more. So yeah, let's see what this car has going for it. So yeah, for my money, this is easily one of the more fun, more modern BMWs that we've had as of late in a Forza game. It's just, yeah, it's very uncomplicated in its approach. It's not got all-wheel drive, it's not got massive loads of power that, would be unusable on a day-to-day basis, but it's there when you need it. And yeah, it controls that power really rather nicely as well. It's got a little bit of understeer at times, but not too much, and yeah, the rear end does have plenty of grip going for it as well. So yeah, on the whole, it's a really, really nice car to drive, and it's a fun one as well, as I've seen on, I think I went on Suzuka full circuit, and I really enjoyed it around there, and it's pretty good around here as well. You can definitely feel that it's got good brakes, it's got good turning, and the power delivery is really rather good as well. So yeah, it's all good in that regard, and in acceleration wise, it's also pretty great. 0 to 60 is dealt with in only 4 seconds. You can go up to 100 mile an hour in 9.1 seconds, and it's got a top speed of 182 miles an hour, which again are all very good. It's got a nice high revving engine as well, which sounds fairly decent, which again, considering it's got 2 turbochargers, and a lot of cars with turbos or turbochargers typically do not sound all that great. This sounds pretty good on the whole. So yeah, my only real issue is with the car in terms of the way it's been added to this game, which is via the car pass, so you have to have bought the you know, all the DLC and whatnot to get this car. Which, considering, like I said, we've had the newer BMW M2 in Forza Horizon 5, which, you know, has more power and is different in terms of the looks and whatnot. So why isn't that car in this game as standard? It just makes no sense to me for it to not be in this game, and then they make you, well, they don't make you, but, you know, it's part of the car pass which you've paid for, and yet they've given you an older, you know, less powerful version of a car that came into another game for free. You know, just seems like really not getting your money's worth, quite frankly, out of the car pass so far, because we've had a bunch of racing cars, which I'm sure they're, you know, catering to a certain amount of people, which is fine. I have no issues with racing cars being in a racing game, but for the first road car to be in the car pass, this is a little bit disappointing. I do enjoy it, no doubt about that, but it feels like the kind of car that should have been in the game to start with and not via the car pass. It should have been in the game as standard, along with the newer M2 that we've already had in Forza Horizon 5, as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, as the first road car in the car pass, it is a disappointing one, even if it is a good car in its own right and it is fun to drive. Because, yeah, at the end of the day, we're paying for an older car that we've had a newer version of already, and that just seems a bit pointless. The car pass should be for, you know, unique cars that we've never had before in a Forza game, or we've never had newer versions of, or whatnot, or, you know, at least, you know, older versions of cars that we've never had before that are, you know, light years different to the newer versions that we've already got. Because, yeah, at the end of the day, this is pretty much the same as the newer version. Same kind of engine, you know, looks broadly the same, and yeah, even though the power isn't quite as much, you do have the same amount of torque in this car as you do in the newer one, and this is lighter than the newer one as well, so kind of works itself out, to be honest, overall in terms of the performance. So yeah, you're not getting much different with this car over the newer version, and yeah, it just doesn't feel like it's making the car pass all that worth the money. But hopefully the car pass will improve over time. But quite frankly, as it stands right now, the first 4 cars have been a relative disappointment, which I don't think was the case for the car pass in Forza Horizon 5. But still, if you have enjoyed this car, then I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But if you don't have the car pass yet, then I'd advise that you stay put for now. Wait for some more of the cars to come out to see if they're going to be worth your money, and who knows, maybe at the end of the car pass they'll put the cars on for sale individually, like they did with Forza Horizon 5, so maybe it'll be worth just waiting until the car pass finishes its run and then buying the individual cars for real money individually, because quite frankly right now I wouldn't bother with the car pass if I'd have known that these first 4 cars would have been these 4 that we've had so far. 3 of which you've seen in my Racing At series, where, yeah, no commentary, but I race the cars on a track for a couple of laps, which is all those racing cars are really worth for video content as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, but still, nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!